Hello, everyone. Welcome to It's a Long Story, a place where we roll dice, we tell stories, and we create magic. We are here with our awesome friends in the Wreckless. Everybody, take a look at your camera, wave, and say hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. I have no idea what Dan's saying. But hi, welcome. Before we begin tonight, first off, for anybody who is new to and wondering what the heck this is, hi, we are a D&D live play stream that runs every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday, existing in the same world. All four campaigns existing in the same world, the homebrew world of Imea. If you're joining for the first time, welcome. We hope you enjoy it. Before we jump into tonight, just some typical sort of announcement stuff, things that we have been talking about for a little bit, but if you're new, you haven't heard these things. So first and foremost, our drop-in, drop-out campaign that we've been running every Saturday for the month of May, and then it'll be some of June. I know I'll be out for some of that time, so I'll let you guys know. But yeah, Humblewood, Silk, and Sunder. It is a drop-in, drop-out campaign that we've been running for the past 2 Sundays, and they both have been just phenomenal. Sarah joined in on the last one, and it was super fun and hilarious, playing as a hummingbird carrying a sword, a great sword in its legs, that could wield it when she needed to, and other times it was a danger to everyone involved. But yeah, super wacky, zany. It's a good opportunity for you to be able to play D&D, but in a different sort of woodland landscape, playing as a creature of the land or sky. There are homebrew races, not homebrew races, they're Humblewood races specific to Humblewood, specific classes, specific spells, specific backgrounds. So a lot of fun, cool stuff set up with that. So if you're interested in checking that out, you can do so at startplaying.games/GM/It's a Long Story. You can also find that if you're watching on YouTube in the video description below, and I'm also putting it in our live chat as normal for those that are watching on Twitch that want to participate. So please check that out. We hope we hope to keep this going for a while. We've had a good solid. We had a full party last week, so which was great. We would like to have that again for forever, not forever, until the campaign ends. So yeah, again, check that out. Startplaying.games/GM/It's a Long Story. Also, if you are interested in supporting the channel, best way to do so is to like and subscribe and follow, not only here or on not only on YouTube or on Twitch, wherever you're watching it, but also to follow and do all the liking and following on our stop pointing. There you go, there it is, you got it. Every time
Oh, my practice.
Everybody just point everywhere. They'll be so confused.
Positive
all
reinforcement.
Right here. Thank you. Perfect. Yes. That is our tag for our Instagram and TikTok, where you can join and stay in the loop with some behind the scenes, favorite clips. We have a lot that we need to be adding on to. It is one of the many things that I am trying to get going on that, but truly I'm crazy busy. There's a lot of stuff that I have to paint coming up pretty soon. So, but yeah, please check that out. And if you're into it, like and follow and all that jazz. Cool. So, who the heck is doing the recap today? I think you guys said someone,
Nav?
and then someone said
Nav.
Nav. Cool.
It's our tribute
All right.
for the week.
Great. Awesome. So, before we jump into tonight, we need to get an idea of where we left off. So, Nav, would you please do us the honors?
So much happened. Where do I begin? So, long story short,
I should have stayed in the world-ending cult. But hey ho, we move. We begin with most of the party except Riarris, who is dead, and I mean super dead, right? The rest of the party is staring at the portal that is closing, everyone in different arrays of distress. Yoon, exhausted on the floor, Ka, the ferryman of the dead, sitting crisscross applesauce in front of the portal, asking other spirits if they've seen Riarris or Talia, which, no luck there. The answer was no. Ogre are still on the floor in anger with a pointed look at Zed, causing some inner party conflict. And Zed, who is dissociating from the trauma of their last fight. Nala, the Phoenix Aarakocran, who is the voice of reason at this time, suggests we move to get our bearings and surroundings. Yoon moves to the portal, leans against it, and says, if there's one thing I have learned from Sylvia, it is that nothing is gone forever. If Riarris isn't coming through this portal, that's fine. We'll find him somewhere else. But I've not had enough pull or good luck to justify this level of bad luck. Adamant that we will find him, Yoon says that Riarris wouldn't want to see us this way, and we all need to get back to where we need to go. We continue through the cave, going past walls, this time with no markings or glyphs. But they were on the other side, the side before we stepped into the portal of death. Nala said they look to be 1,000 years old, so either they haven't been created yet or they have faded. But, enough about that. The more pressing problem for the party is the 30-foot chasm in front of them. Despite the somber mood, Ogre summons Muffins, who creates bubbles of whimsical laughter to fill the space as the party travels across the chasm one by one. Fang, still infatuated with Nala, who is just floating in the air. But Zed noticed there is a small crack in the ground where wall meets ground, and there's a glint of something that is different from the texture of the rocks and leftover fauna. The crack is small enough for Zed to poke his non-coral hand into, and he feels there's something's there. Something polished, smooth, and it's stuck inside. Pulling out a crowbar, and he feels something pushing against two rocks, and Kay hears something that is large, semi-hollow, but inanimate. Yoon, who is the party's entire brain cell, suggests not kicking it, or maybe touching things that it's in this dungeon of terrors. Kay realizes whatever's inside might be a load-bearing system, because that's how caves work, I think. Ogre continues to tell Zed multiple times no, and wrenches the crowbar out of his hand, puts him at eye level. Kay also mentions there's the potential of maybe coming back to whatever is trapped in this hole. However, Ka notices the thing that is in the hole is actually bone. It's ivory, cylindrical, maybe resembling a tooth, a very large tooth, even a dragon tooth. With Yoon's wand of detect magic, he senses something dark, some ancient magic that feels cold and foreboding and extremely powerful. Ogre notes that what if the dragon had a toothache and pulled it out, which impresses Nala, who asks Kay if that's the deity that Kay's religions worship. That's also a dragon, and if it has a certain classification, which Yoon points out, that Tiamat is just Tiamat, so maybe Diamatalis is just Diamatalis, not a snake or a serpent or any kind. Zed takes a vial off Ogre to try and shave a speck of the dragon tooth to show Nala, but to her it looks like nothing, and maybe it was nothing. But Yoon points out whoever is able to get this tooth deserves it, and that phrase seems to reverberate in Yoon's mind as if haunted by his own words, and he'd like to leave this cave. We move to the next chamber that hasn't seemed to be excavated just yet, as there's no sign of the dragon markings on the walls. Fang comments that he is the last of a dying breed, bog goblins, and Yoon in turn responds, oh yeah, then you're all probably dead, leaving Ogre in a bit of a panic, causing Kay to jump in to say, hey, they might have gone back in time, so Granny and, the rest of the party may not have been born yet. And Yoon said that, and that has nothing to do with the potential of her ex-members killing those said goblins. Yoon and Fang seem to be at pause for a moment until Yoon says, wait, what am I saying? Shut up, Fang. The party are torn for choices for a moment, if to set up camp in the cave or outside. The word Tooth, tooth, is mentioned in front of Fang, but Yoon's quick thinking of, nope, we said dragon tube, not dragon tooth, leaves him with the realization that he doesn't deserve this, which echoes in the background. Kay heads out first and notices that it appears to be night and a large moon in the sky, but doesn't notice much else. Yoon heads out and the echo stops. Zed notices the amount of flora and a poisonous yellow toad, and it seems as though there's no one has been here yet. Ka, with Ogre's suggestion of perhaps Sway might have been built by now, or maybe around, leaps to the air with Nala following like a fiery rocket because Ka told her to do something, which, very on brand for Nala. As Ka uses the subterfuges out, Ka looks up and realizes there is no Sway, just jungle and forest. We turn from this scene and, oh my gosh, Riarris is alive? Chilling in a hammock? How rude. A figure over him, Junta, repeats the word friend. Junta is not a fan of handshakes, however, Riarris can't feel Talia's presence. What that means, who knows? Junta and Riarris communicate the need for food and stab an oink oink. Junta points out to a weird puffy white bird, and a good thing Riarris didn't stab it, as that was Junta's pet bird, who is now named Oink Oink. Riarris, feeling out of his depth in the jungle, has a speedy Junta to guide him, who keeps saying Milal, the word for island, or a word that means people, very similar to Nalam, I'm just saying. Riarris notices a woman in leather clothing, an interesting wrap on her right shoulder, and a quiver of arrows with the biggest and brightest fletchings. The woman asks if he is the traveler from the mountains, who responds with yes. The camera continues forward, and we see Riarris walking to this tribe, everyone pouring spices and herbs into a vat of communal soup. Riarris notices a tiefling, a man who offers soup to him, and the first person to drink has the highest honor. This tour continues, and Riarris notices someone slightly pale with him who's making these arrowheads. Junta lends a handshake, and Riarris enters another tent, a figure with a white headdress, a marking of a tent with the sun and moon overlapped, and Riarris is greeted with a hello friend. Questions and conversation are exchanged with each other, and Riarris is unsure to why he is here. A conversation about a measurement of time happens, an agreement of conceptual time, how people track time with nature, and there's so much happened, guys. So much happened. I'm trying here. I'm trying.
You're doing great.
Okay, back to topic. There's a familiar... blah, blah, blah. See? It's fine. There's a familiar feeling of these people. They seem to be like him. They exist in this time. Human, elven, tiefling, all these races existing in the idea there is a beginning, middle, and end. But Riarris is rooted in time. Whoever... he says time may matter, it may not matter. Maybe even the wrong decision equals a right opportunity somewhere else. His faith in time is conflicted and confused. This figure in front of him, I believe her name is Selma?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Pulls out an arrowhead and says that we put time and energy into things to prove their value because without them, our existence would be less. Every living thing has to value something. Milal is the word that puts something that has the most value to exist. You just have to find something that you value. Riarris gets asked the biggest question, what does he value? Which turns out to be friendship, the true magic. There's a weird... Anyway, Riarris has his Karate Kid training moment of learning how to make these said arrowheads from Peter. The dude who was sitting on the floor, slightly paler than Riarris, minding his own business, not really caring about much. Riarris stays with him till day turns into night, and even when food is offered, Peter does not. I believe he doesn't eat. He didn't really eat anything, and Riarris just kind of continued to watch him. We turn back as Ka is in the land of the skies, scouting, circling, looking for any creatures moving in uniform, but sees nothing. There's a conversation with Nala about how far her memories stretch back and when kind of Sway was founded, which there has been information that Sway, people have been gathering at Sway or near Sway for the last 800 years. Jeez Louise, so much happened. I'm going through my notes, I'm like, how can I condense this? Anyway, we move on. What else happened? Camp is made. We try and figure out how much time has passed, so we set up camp. Zed and Nala take first watch, which it's fine. Nothing happens. There isn't an argument. Okay, there was. Nala kind of confronts Zed, and Zed acknowledges that, he's a bit of a chaos gremlin, but we love him either way, right, guys? Anyway. The second watch is Kay and Ogra, and they have a perfectly calm, chilled watch. There isn't a dragon floating in the sky. There was a dragon floating in the sky as Ogra was talking to Kay about how she feels about Zed not being able to acknowledge and the fact Riarris is probably dead. And Kay just notices a scaly dragon, but it's fine. Everyone deserves a long rest first before we mention this to the party. Ogra goes to wake up Yoon and says that nothing eventful has happened. Please take an orange. Kay then goes to wake up Ka and tells him about the dragon. But firstly, it's worth mentioning that Zed and Nala had a fight first, obviously. That was definitely the most important thing. Ka takes the skies once more and realizes there is a lack of birds in the sky or singing, which is bizarre. Also, The moon hasn't moved. It's like it's stuck in the sky, and that's strange. We don't like that. Kay, unable to sleep after the crying, laughing fit of there's a real dragon, notices an crystalline arrowhead pointing towards Yoon and decides, instead of telling Yoon, to jump over Yoon and attempt to grapple this figure. Now with a dagger to her throat, they ask who we are. Yoon, in a perfect, what's the word I'm looking for? In a perfect state, replies, "For fuck's sake, I'm Yoon Aurelian, patriarch of House Aurelian. We came out the cave. Look, are you going to kill her or? We're very tired." And that's what happened last session, guys.
Incredible. Very nice. Great. So unfortunately we weren't recording when we did that, so you're gonna have to run that again.
Oh no.
No, you're good. Yeah, actually,
summary I've heard of a whole session. Like,
yes,
really could follow the whole thing. It was great.
Yeah, that was great. Nav, actually, if you don't mind sending me that,
I can. It's in my notes.
Great. Yes, please send me your notes.
Well, I got it. It's on my Google Doc.
If you want to see any extras, watch our last video.
That's right. Yeah. Or you could just watch it.
You can watch me break down.
You should watch all the videos, everything.
But not right now because we have this one. And with this one. This one. And with that, before let's get into it. Cool. We are going to start out Riarris. It has been a long evening, sleeping on the ground inside of a tent that looks to be currently didn't have anyone in it. You were guided to it. You noticed that there's definitely signs of someone that does live here, but seemingly was given to you to serve a purpose on being able to rest. As you wake up, I think anyone who isn't Riarris would probably have to make a con saving throw on resting on this cold, hard dirt ground. But Riarris is used to such conditions. Riarris, as you awaken, you hear the clamor of not clamor, but I'd say just the general noise of the village, the tribe outside, just seemingly going about their day-to-day things. You notice, you hear the sounds of a chant that is starting and seems to be going away in the distance. And Riarris, what do you do this morning?
If I could, as I'm going to bed before the morning, I would like to have looked at the stars to see if I recognize constellations. Something that I would have definitely, growing up, being where I'm from, spent a lot of time looking at the stars, just to see if I recognize anything of where I'm at. I know I'm in a different area from where I grew up, but
right. You know, interestingly, the stars look to be the same.
Okay.
I'll say this. Give me an investigation check.
Ugh. Right. 16.
Yeah, 16 is not bad. I would say everything kind of just looks a little bit the same. You notice that like there are constellations that look to be like in different sort of points in the sky of where you remember them, but that makes sense based on where you are. And the distance apart from them seem to be comparable, at least.
Okay. Yeah. Waking up, I think I would have gotten up probably pretty early. But hearing the kind of chants going away, I would get dressed. I'm still not putting my armor on, so I'm still just kind of wearing basic clothes. And I probably wouldn't take any, maybe I'll take my pickaxe with me, war pick, I should say. But I would go to try to find the noise and to see a face, maybe Gunta or Peter or something like that, to see someone that I might know. But probably heading towards that to ingratiate with the morning with the tribe, see what's happening.
Okay, you got it. Cool. As you look around, you see there are a lot of figures here that seem to be, in their sort of like daily morning chores, washing their like one or two sets of clothes. There's a level of familiarity here that is that I don't think is necessarily jarring for Riarris based on his upbringing, but a lot of nudity, as there are figures that are like some of them are just washing their clothes, their cloth, their one set of clothes, as well as just preparing other sort of things, possibly like throwing things out, things like that. So it's basic sort of morning stuff. I will say, you notice in the distance there looks to be a small group of figures that seem to be going out with what looks to be like spears, and some bows, bow and arrows. As you are looking around for anyone that you recognize, you do see Dunta sitting on a rock with Oink Oink on his arm, and they seem to be just kind of staring at each other's eyes for a second. But it almost looks like as if they're in conversation, but they're not speaking.
And he's not necessarily with the others that are getting ready to go out, or is he?
No, they're heading out. They're already on the outskirts.
They're already on their way out. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I would kind of get out and just kind of look around, see that. I think I would see Dunta and head over to him. And as he's looking, I don't know that Riarris has any experience with someone talking with a pet in their head. So I think Riarris would walk over there, not quite realizing that, and just say, good morning, Dunta.
You see Dunta looks up, doesn't seem like too surprised. I mean, like, it seems to be... didn't seem to see you until you were walking up. You see the bird kind of like turn around, and again there's this weird thing that feels a little off with this bird having the weird, almost skin-like elven ears popping up. The bird kind of like looks at you, does the bird thing, kind of like pops his head to the side, and then just kind of like crawls up from his arm all the way up to his shoulder. Morning. No stab.
Are you going?
And points in the direction of the party. No. Stab. No.
Have Peter? Have you seen Peter?
Peter.
Yeah. Have you seen him? Is he around?
Oh. And just kind of like points down the way. That would be towards the area where where you last saw Peter.
No. Okay. Cool. And yeah, I didn't see him. He's not around anywhere. Man. And Dunta's the only one I recognize. I think. Before I decide, do I feel anything with Talia? I think I would kind of reach out. Do I feel anything at this moment? I probably would have done it in the morning when I woke up, but
no.
think I would kind of look at Dunta and look at the hunting party that's leaving and just kind of seeing the general tasks being about the village, knowing kind of how that works a little bit and desperately wanting to be useful somehow, which means not standing around. So I think I will say, if you see Peter, tell him I'll be back. Be back. I'm going to stab with them. Food.
Oh,
Yeah. Should I go with them?
yeah. Stab.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with them. Okay.
Okay. So just above board, you were given a task
Man,
last night.
I know. I was. Yeah. Man, I think Riarris. Yeah, no, you're totally right. Man, where is the hole that they were digging in relation to where I am at now? That massive pit. I know, changing tactics here.
Yeah, I would say pretty close. Probably just a little bit, like map directions a little north of you, so to your left.
Yeah. No, I no, you're right, because I'm kind of like, what would he do? He wants to be useful, but he doesn't know how to be useful, especially without Peter. So, yeah, I don't think I would go with the hunting. I would say, or nod and wander off to the hole. I think Riarris would look at that until he could find Peter or the other woman whose name I'm forgetting, Gadara, if he could see them. But I think I would wander off there to just because I wanted to look at it, see how deep it goes, see what they're building, see what it is, try to gain its purpose.
Okay. You got it. You're just casually strolling.
I think so. Yeah. I don't know if I'm strolling, but I'm not rushing. Yeah.
I'm asking, are you being stealthy?
No.
Okay, you got it. As you walk up to the pit, you can see that there is it is kind of at an angle, sort of going down, but it's relatively sort of steep. Not enough for me to have you roll any sort of like skill check or anything, but you notice that it seems to be just kind of going down, and from your current vantage point, it's just total darkness.
Like it goes down out of sight, like it's.
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
So I'll say it goes down. It looks like it's probably, because you do see grounds. I'd say it probably goes down at an angle to about 10 feet.
Does it look like they are building something that would be for a foundation or something along those lines, or does it just seem like they're just trying to dig down for some reason? Like, is it? Can't tell.
At the mouth of this cave, so to speak, you have no idea.
All right. I think what I would do is I would kind of look around it, and then look to maybe get some food or something, and probably head back to the fire pit where Peter was, where I left him the night before, and just be ready to wait for him. Keep an eye out.
Give me. I'm gonna say, as far as like for food, would you say you're like looking to have someone give you food, or are you looking to like hunt?
I don't think I'd be looking to hunt. Yeah, I'm not looking to leave the village. So if there's any of that soup left, great. I'm not going to go out of my way for it. But if there's something, if there's, sometimes in the mornings there's like a communal pot or something for people going out, especially if there's a hunting party. Sometimes there's something. So, but certainly not trying to intrude.
Yeah, roll me I'm going to say a straight wisdom check. So D20 and add your wisdom modifier.
13.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's enough. So with a 13, you do see the like giant, like this basin is so big, it doesn't seem like it would be easily moved even if they wanted to. So you get the idea, like that's where it is. But you do actually notice that, actually I say, yeah, this time of day, I would say most likely you actually see figures that are in the process of actually pushing it over and letting the contents spill out onto the ground. It wasn't a lot. I would say probably about maybe 3 bowlfuls. Bowl. It could fill 3 bowls.
Sure.
As that happens, there's no sort of like level of like, and I don't think you would like run up to necessarily interrupt or anything, but there's a level of like, you asked yesterday to be able to preserve some of the soup for Peter, maybe for later, right? And it didn't seem to like, they didn't seem to comprehend, or they didn't seem to even like really fully acknowledge. Didn't look like they tried very hard. As you're watching this, you notice that there are four tribe members that are lifting the basin to let it spill over, and then there are 2 others on the other side that are basically like silting the soil, like taking the soil and like actually just pushing it over itself. And so all of that's to say, I think with the 13, you get the idea that the concept of saving, the concept of like preserving something that serves a basic purpose. 13 is enough to say that it's either something that they don't consider to be important, or it's something that they've never even considered.
I think that sounds like home, a bit, not as aggressively so, but that concept makes sense to Riarris. I think so. I think I'd probably get there too late as I kind of watch it spill over, and yeah, I'll just make my way to the fire pit then, as I kind of see it. Okay with that. I'm fine. Yeah.
Okay. When you say the fire pit, do you mean like where Peter
Wherever
is?
Peter was.
Say
I
you're
thought he was
the
at a fire
pit.
Yeah. Wherever he was.
Peter is at that like very large like granite stone
Gotcha.
piece that is relatively pretty close to the fire. So you just turn and look.
Yeah, wherever Peter was. Yeah.
You got it. Yeah, you see him. You see him sitting where you sat yesterday. Looking at the granite stone, you can see there is a very large chunk of that crystalline substance. And you see that he is sitting, like arms sort of, hands kind of slightly like together, just arms on knees, and it's just staring at you as you approach.
I don't recall offhand. Did he speak common at all? Did we? I don't even know if we really.
A little bit.
A little bit. Okay. Okay. I will. I'll go over and I'll just kind of give him kind of have a head nod, say morning, and take my seat. You know where he was sitting, where he's expecting me to sit. Understanding that kind of relationship, and yeah, say morning. Should I start?
Doesn't say any words, just kind of gestures towards the piece in front of you.
Riarris takes a couple moments just to take a breath as he kind of looks at the stuff in front of him. And even though he knew this was kind of coming up in the morning, he didn't really, I don't think I spent much time thinking about it last night. Many other thoughts I was thinking about. So kind of the task and the length of the day, realizing the sun is still quite low. Kind of, okay, this is what is what I need to do. And so I will grab. So it's like a big old chunk, I'm imagining, of this crystalline type of thing. Are there any other tools around? Does he have his tools? I forget what he was using to whittle.
You were given it last night.
I was given it. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay,
Mhm.
so I'll pull that out and just kind of get at the big chunk and go for it. I don't. I think try to break some of it off. When I saw Peter working, did he work out of the big chunk or did he break it out? Like how did I would want to mimic what he had done.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Like you watched him for
hours,
like truly, like 8 or 9 hours.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think I would sit down, kind of take the load off, take a couple thoughts, and just get ready to go to work.
Cool. Roll me a d6, please.
Five.
Okay. Missing the thing that I want. Sorry, 1 second. Oh, there it is. There it is. Okay. So, I think there's a moment where you're staring at this piece, this oblong sort of not a specific shape, and you look at it. I think there's a point where maybe you even like possibly look up at Peter to try to figure out, like, should I be cutting this thing in half? Should I be like, is there like parceling this thing out? And then you just get a feeling looking at him that you're not going to get an answer. So you lift the cutting rock up. Give one final look at Peter's to see if there's something that you missed. Thwack. The heavy sound of that stone slamming against the crystal makes you blink. As you blink, you find yourself not in the forest. You feel yourself on a beach, very similar to where you met Selma beforehand. Looking back, you don't really see trees for miles and miles out. You get the feeling that you're probably not on Shasa V anymore. And I'd like you to give me a perception check as I continue to explain stuff. You are looking out onto the waves, and you see as the waves are kind of crashing in, there's a bright, shining sun in your eyes for a second as you're kind of having to shield it away. There's no shelter, there's no trees to kind of like stand behind. You're actually basically on this sandbar. What did you get in your perception?
Dirty 20.
A dirty 20. We'll remember that as we go along. You see a figure seem to come in through the ether, as if this is just like a memory that she enters. You see Selma staring at you, just kind of hands kind of clasped in front.
Do I still have the thing in my hands, or am I Like, no.
Nope.
Okay, it's just. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
Good morning.
Good morning. Morning.
We begin. What do you see?
I see a lot of sand. I see Is there anything that's sticking out to me that I'm seeing that is not just landscape?
I would say try to stick into this roleplay moment as much as you can here.
Gotcha.
I'll give you information as I go along.
Sure. So I think I would just say, so she says, what do you see? I don't know. The beach. This feels like where I grew up.
Look at the water. And she says that you look out and you see, with a dirty 20, you've never seen the water so clear. It's that going out to a certain distance becomes that teal, like jewel-like blue that seems to shine and reflect from the sun. As you look closer towards the shoreline, you can see clearly the ocean floor. For about 30, 40 feet out. You've never seen water this clear. In the distance, you make out movement. Something that, from your current place, you'd imagine is probably about maybe about 200 feet away. It looks serpentine-like, but also could be a fish, could be a dolphin, could be a number of sea creatures. From your vantage point right now, you're not able to quite make out what it is.
Is the water always this clear? I've never seen it like this before. This is interesting instead of unknowing, I guess. What I think at this point I kind of see what kind of squint a little bit, shield a little bit from the sun. What is that way out there?
She turns and looks in your direction. There is a time when there was much less. Sorry, excuse me. There is a time where there is much less bloodshed. That there are figures, living beings, creatures that exist in perfect harmony. There is no concepts of good or evil. There's very little change in the concept, in the idea of perspectives. Everything is aligned. So everything is okay. The figure itself, as she's talking, seems to get closer and closer, and you recognize that the figure itself seems to move from left to right. You notice deep bluish green scales. You see eyes that are a bright yellow. Even in the sunshine, you can see the iris around them, and you see the elongated snout. You get a feeling that you know what this is, but it's so small. It's still bigger than you, but only just, as you see it swim out closer to you, getting about 10 feet in, and just starts to slowly circle around the sandbank.
That sounds hard to believe. We're not in that timeline now, are we? Or that time, or that place? Is that even possible, Selma? To get there? To be there?
The idea of time I would think of it more like a tree. There are no lines. There is action, consequence. But each time there's a choice that's given, adds another branch. This is what it would look like. If choice was taken out. Riarris, give me a nature check.
7.
Looking in the far distance, you notice that you do see trees, but they seem to be rather sparse. There's very little. I think with a 7, you're not entirely sure why. The concept, I think, might not be sticking too much to you yet. But recognizing that if this creature is what you think it is, and it's being the size, not only is it smaller, but you also notice that it doesn't seem to be as doesn't seem to have those predatory fangs to it. It actually kind of resembles more of a scaly dolphin. But
as
you
it's
also
circling, does it feel aggressive, or it's just here? It's just living. It's not
just here.
Just here.
Yeah. You don't get any, it doesn't look right at you. So you don't get anything like that. And I'd say after about, 3 circles, you'd see it kind of start to move away. But you know that there's a reason why it's this small. You know that there's a reason that at your feet there are no shells. no resemblance of life that was put anywhere other than where it would want to be. Looking out at the trees in the distance, they are just the bare level of necessity. There's a weird moment here where, like, Riarris, you first kind of came into this looking at, like, well, this is beautiful, this is paradise, this is... And you have this creeping sort of notion of, like, I don't want to be here.
Well, that sounds nice, Selma, I think, but I can't imagine that the right place is in a place where choices can't be made or don't matter, that there isn't. Even if we choose wrong, sometimes isn't the ability to choose itself important?
These creatures, all living things here, there is a time where things have nothing to fight against, and therefore they serve no purpose. You see a weird sort of like blue flash that kind of just comes across your face, and you are back to staring at the crystal as you notice a chunk of it has come off. And you look at Peter, and Peter's looking right at you. You see him give you a something that, like, Peter has given you the least amount of, like, communication as possible. You see at this point, Peter is looking at you and just going, what's that? Just gives you a nod. You feel like no time has passed.
Yeah, I think feeling that exhale, maybe a quick look over my shoulder, see them still cleaning up the pot and the stuff in the dirt, and realizing no time has passed. And pick up the chunk that fell off and start whittling it down. Just
thwack. Roll me another d6.
4.
Okay, cool. That's the one I'm excited about. You appear now just as the same as a blink of an eye. You appear on a beach. You notice that there is a feeling that is weirdly welcoming to you, Riarris, in this moment, because it's been a while since you've felt cold. But you feel a breeze coming in. You hear the sound of a distant storm. And just like how rain suddenly starts, there's this moment of feeling like you are at completely dry to completely soaked, as you see everything around you just torrential downpour. You feel these things. You feel the cold temperature. You feel the feeling of the rain on you. But as you look at your hands and your arms and your clothes, You don't see any sort of signs of these things. Once again, Selma appears before you. What do you see? Give me a perception check.
Natural 20 for a 26.
Nice. With a natural 20, I'll give you everything up front. You notice that there looks to be like a lot of what seems to be seaweed, like at first on the ground. This dark beach that is just lit by the starry night, but no moon. You notice that there is a steady fog that is along the shoreline, and before your very eyes, one of the pieces of seaweed itself, you notice, seems to extend a hand out towards the water. As you see, it is there is seaweed here as well, but it looks like it is some sort of humanoid creature that is crawling on the ground. With a natural 20, you see that they are not the only one. There are others that are there. Following along, you see some of them look like they are missing limbs. Their flesh seeming bloated and dark and grimy. The green from the seaweed almost seeming to reflect the paleness of their bodies. All of them bald, no hair. Some seem to have clothes that have been torn into rags. You see missing arms, missing legs. But they're all pulling or crawling, digging towards the water.
All I see is turmoil. What are these things? Is that I'll just shake it. Could I walk a little closer? They'll recognize me? Could I walk closer? I think I'd want to look, see what these things are. Or
you go as close as you want to go. How close do you want to go?
I don't want to go too close, but within 10, 15 feet, let's say.
I'd say you're within 15 feet
Probably
of one of them
within
now.
They look like humanoid, generally. Obviously missing limbs and such. Yeah.
Yeah.
Am I in kind of the same embankment, same area, just different?
Doesn't look like
totally different, totally unique. Okay. I don't think Riarris even know how to react to this. What am I even looking at? What are these creatures? They don't even have arms, and they're storms. I don't.
Roll me a history check. 12 is enough. Yanmamori, the Sea Witch.
I've heard that name before.
This is Joe telling you, not.
Oh, okay. I thought you said that. Okay. I think I had a feeling. Okay, sure.
It's okay. Literally translating to the end of the sea. You know that Yamamori's general plan is to destroy the concept of what it is to be alive, at least for what you know to be humanoid creatures. As you're staring at this and asking that question, Selma responds, "There is a time where the perspective of what you would call evil prevailed. This is what remains.
In my time, is this a possibility? Is this an outcome?
You see her kind of like weirdly smile at that a little bit. It is and isn't. Our future is marked out by choices, actions. In this moment, this time exists. And it will always exist because there will always be choices, actions, consequences.
Odds at that internalizes it a little bit. See, I don't think I fully understand, but I understand enough to know that one of my friends has mentioned the name of someone who could do these things. And I guess I never really know what it looked like.
Your friend is right. This is one of many ways the world can be left. If she gets what she chooses.
Can I ask you a question, Selma?
Yes.
Where are you in this? I mentioned the other night you reminded me of someone I knew my time very much. Are you part of this, just as Jan Memori be part of this?
Roll me an insight check.
19.
Nice. I'll give you the response first. There is a belief that there are places in time notches curled branches something that some would call telos. Fixed points in time that do not change. They are unaffected by choices, actions, and consequences. I exist as a representation of one of those things. with a 19. As you are staring out along the water and you see this strike of, you actually hear and see this strike of lightning in the background towards the, out towards the sea, probably about a mile out. The lightning seems to emanate and goes out and kind of like pushes out from the water. You can see just for a split second a female figure out on the water. As she looks out, she sees the same thing. Looking back at you, you realize what may feel like a horrible truth to Riarris. Selma, Jan Memori, may be the same person.
Cool. Great. I think I'd look. I don't think I would follow up beyond that.
You got it?
With her.
Yeah. Flash of blue. And you are back. You see Peter still looking at you.
Cock an eyebrow at him. See if I get a reaction or anything as I'm kind of whirling a little bit, just to see how if he has a different reaction than the first time.
Doesn't look like he has a different reaction. I'd say as you show some sort of sign of knowing something, you see. I think you see such a slight nod from him that you're not entirely sure if you made it up or not. But there's a look of affirmation. There's also this weird moment where you recognize that like Peter has been doing this, was doing this all day yesterday. Was this happening at the same time for him? So there's that kind of moment of like realization. As you look down, you see there are now 2 pieces that are broken off. And if you don't mind, I'd like you to give me one more.
It's a 3, and I think before I strike it, there would be the slightest hesitation from Riarris in that, do I want to know? And then the answer is yes. As he kind of goes, he kind of holds it. Another breath. Go for it.
Cool. 3. Okay. Cool. With a 3, you hear the sounds of the forest don't necessarily change. Actually, they do change a little. You find yourself very close to the water. Still sand, still trees, and trees as in deep jungle, very close to you. You notice that there is a small cabin that is on the sand. It seems to have 2 windows. Looking from your vantage point, you can see through both windows out to a very large ship that looks to be beached on the shore, and there looks to be construction around it. Takes you a minute, but Riarris, you recognize this as Bambato. before you even have time to look or turn around to look for Selma, you hear the sound of thwack, and you recognize it as a musket fire going off. Just one.
Do I know from what direction do we hear from?
You absolutely know which direction it's from. Looking out into the distance, you see there is a ship that is coming in that looks very familiar.
Babato looks like the Babato I know, or this is creation?
You know what that gunfire is.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm just trying to gauge how early. Okay. I think instinctively I hear that gunfire and I flinch and duck a little bit, try to find just immediately before kind of cracking myself to the senses and want to watch and see what happens. I want to see what the resolution of that gunfire is.
As you're watching, to be clear, this was the shot that you made at Carr, the very beginning.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So as you're watching, you see a red hobgoblin walk out to a deck, a very large turtle humanoid figure walk out with him. You see you come in. By the way. You see Riarris on the deck of the ship. You're not entirely... I'm going to say roll me an investigation check. You're not entirely sure which timeline this is.
15.
15? Yeah, with the 15, as you step off from a distance, you look like you made it pretty well, but you're not entirely sure. And as you're watching, there's a moment where wisdom sort of sets in to get the idea that maybe the point is not knowing exactly which time this is you came into shore, but recognizing the importance of this time.
Right.
And with that, Selma appears next to you. What do you see?
A different branch of that tree you were talking about, I think. I had answers maybe to the question of why. I still don't know, but I feel a little foolish seeing myself jump off the ship like that. It looks stupid. I don't know why I do that, but
Is that you?
Yes. And no. I'm certainly not now who I was then. That's Yoon.
Sorry, could you repeat that?
Oh.
My thing got cut out.
I'm certainly not now who I was then, but that is me. It's certainly Yoon. The car is probably somewhere.
How do you know? How would you define yourself?
That's a good question. I think who we are ends up being defined by the choices we make. So who am I? Not quite sure yet. Selma?
There's a moment where Selma turns around, and you, like following her gaze, there's a weird sort of space where you see everything kind of seems to speed up a little bit, going through fast forward, and you see there's this large ship that comes out to the shoreline, and a figure steps off of it that you don't recognize at first. She's moving rather quickly, but time seems to slow down just enough to be able to get a good look at Kaelinor coming off of the ship. Who is she in this moment? Good and evil perspectives built on some sort of ideal that we're given. She could have been the villain to your story. She could be the hero. Who she is right now is not who she is where you come from. So I ask you, was that you coming off that ship?
I think, Riarris gets a nosebleed from trying to figure out how this all works. No, but more seriously, no. No. But I guess I don't know how to answer that yet. I want to say yes, but I feel every part of me says no. So I don't know.
In all the stories, all the myths and legends that were told to you, that were told to me, they all follow the same concept of a journey, and recognizing that the cave you fear typically is the one that has the treasure you seek. And to pretend to understand and know the end goal is playing to a pawn of your story never being told. There is a time, Riarris, and it's right now. Riarris, you come back.
I drop or put down the tool, the stone chipping tool, and just look at Peter. You have any water by any chance? Peter, water?
Nods
Trying to
his
stall
head.
a little bit. No, shakes his head.
Nods his head, walks up, walks away, and goes to grab water. Like, you give me an insight check, please.
Yeah, there it is. 6.
I'm going to say you have advantage.
I will stay with the 6.
Oh boy. Cool.
3 and a 2.
All right. So, what is Riarris thinking about in this moment as he's standing there, the cutting rock in hand, now 3 pieces on the ground?
I think Riarris is looking down at those and thinking of not as much himself, but thinking of, I think initially of Kaelinor, of the path, the branches, the what ifs, of thinking of Selma and Yamamori, and thinking of the rest of the party. And he kind of, goes over to Yoon and to Kar, to Ogra, gets a bit of terror in thinking about the paths of Zed, of how is that even trackable, and thinking of the overwhelming nature of that whole question. I don't think Riarris fully grasps, what those choices and options are. And so I think as he's kind of looking down at those shards, picking them up, holding them, remembering that these could directly affect things hundreds, thousands of years in the future, these very simple tools that he is making.
Hmm.
And I think there's a point of him where he feels extremely small. And he's been asking why me, why us, why this, and realizing that that's not ever been the question to ask. He's not sure what the right question is, but he's feeling just very small at the moment.
As Peter comes back, carrying a horn with water in it, hands it to you. You hear him talk. And yeah, I don't think he says much, but let me pull him up here. There we go. It takes a lot to understand what our purpose is. For me, it was to hand you that rock.
Take a long, not long, take a drink. Just kind of look at him. And does that satisfy you?
That matters little in the grand scheme of things. But I will answer it anyways and tell you that my purpose here satisfies me greatly. Because now, once you're knowing the truth, I am free to continue on my journey.
How long have you?
Riarris, give me one more insight check.
2021.
That's not a tribal accent.
Yeah, does not sound it. I was. How long have you been here, Peter?
He laughs at that. We clearly have a lot of work to do.
give him a nod and put the cup down and go the horn down and get back to work.
Got it. And we see from a distance as Peter sits with you, doing exactly what you did the night before. We see Riarris thwack, 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 and imagining that each time he's hitting it, he's having a new experience and realization and getting closer and closer to the concept of what time is in this world. And I think as we continue to pull up, we start to kind of come over the canopy, over the branches, these long sort of limbed plant life, and we come up to this open, cloudless sky, and all we're continuing to hear is the thwack, thwack, thwack. And we fade to black. That's it. We're done for the session. No. We come back to our other friends. Why is that doing that? For the rest of you, there is a figure holding Kaelinor at knife point, asking who you are. We'll change it to this one. I like that one more. I would say for the most part, all of you are awake. You did get a long rest, and this, I'm not going to negate you of that. But yeah, you're.
Can I respond?
Right. Yes, please.
Okay. Yeah. So, Yoon just kind of puts his hands up. New friend, this is all rather dramatic. If you wanted to make a statement, threatening our dear Kaelinor is rather gauche and strictly unnecessary. Why don't you let her go and we can go talk this out over tea? I promise the conversation will be far more fruitful without all the pointy bits. After all, I myself am unarmed, save for this orange. It's really rather inequitable. What do you say?
Never mind, that's not you. Yeah, it was Drew. Drew, you got some crazy background noise going on. Sorry, I sent that to you, Evan, but that was actually Drew.
Request.
Yeah, sorry. This figure looks at you.
If you want, but
no, I can hear you. I can hear you fine. It was Drew. Make sure you get that noise gate on, man. So yeah, in response, sorry, I was trying desperately to pay attention to both things, but T.
Oh, that. Most of those words were lost, weren't they? Tea. Friends. Drink. No pointy bit. No. Friends. Orange.
Friends. Why?
Lost. Cave. We came out of the cave. We don't know how we got here.
Nav,
we
I
are
think
lost.
it's you. It's really
Is that
loud.
me?
Yeah. I just check your settings. Sorry, man. I'm really distracted.
It's
right
cool.
now.
I get it.
Yeah. So you say lost. Go ahead and give me a persuasion check.
All right.
Are all of us awake right now?
Yeah, you're all awake.
That was the last orange.
I'm gonna use my inspiration on that one. It's pretty sure it hasn't been 24 hours since I. Yeah.
Is Car still in the air?
We do slow days.
You guys were where? Yes. So yeah, Car, you'd be in the air.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. That went from a nat 1 to a nat 20 for a 28.
Incredible. Cool. You see in this moment she has the knife to Kalinor's throat, but then takes it away to point at the mountain from which you guys are pretty dang close to. You came from there.
Yes, from a cave through a door to a different place, a portal. We are not from here. Magic brought us here. I don't know how.
Malal.
Malar?
Malal.
Malal. That's not familiar with that word.
Judging by her clothes, is she like speaking Druidic at all?
No. So she'll kind of go through a list of words that you don't really know, including like Selma, as being one of them, because I don't think you know the name Selma. And then we'll say the term tower.
Now, that I know. We friends. Ogra. She saw tower. We are looking for towers, but also lost. But I think sun, moon, tower.
Yes.
Ogre pulls out the little cave drawings, the imprints to show.
There you go.
So while this is going on, I'm gonna sort of, slightly. I don't know. I blanked on the word, but tell Kaelinor through physical body motions, whatever the word for that is, motion to her to sort of like step away from that person, while she's talking and the knife's not pointed toward her anymore. So, what she does is what she does, but I'm kind of like,
yeah. So we'll simplify in this moment. Gadara just kind of comes right up. You don't know her name yet, but comes right up and just goes and like takes the thing that you have, Ogre, and is looking right at it.
Oh, okay, good, cool.
Thanks, Yoon.
Also, we're looking for our friend Riarris.
He's human, darker skin.
Gives it back to you.
Gold eyes. That's probably a big one. Black hair. Moderately good looking.
No.
We'll find him.
Maybe hers. Okay. How long here?
Less than half a day, a few hours. From, if I can remember, from wherever. I'll point to wherever the sun was. To
Okay.
Is it sunset now? Did it sunset already? I kind of forget what the time
No,
is.
the
now.
moon is fixed in the sky.
The moon is fixing this. Yeah, that's our place. Yeah. Okay. We don't have a sun, or if we do, we have a sun. But yeah. Okay. Moon fixing place. And is it nighttime here, or is it dark here?
Yeah.
Besides
Never moves.
giant moon. Yeah.
I mean, it's nighttime as if the moon. So when you guys came here, so just kind of a quick recap.
Yeah.
When you guys came here, it looked like it was nighttime. So it looked like it was already kind of dark out, and that was why you guys kind of felt like you could kind of settle for camp. And it wasn't until much later that you realized, basically at this point, for the most part, when you realized that the moon is not moving in the sky. So time is not changing.
So one, sleep.
Okay.
If it helps, Riarris looks like this. And sometimes has wings.
I will not have you do a skill check for that, as you physically did the work. Incredible. It's an instant nat 20. Actually, yeah, I will say that is an instant nat 20. She takes the page, looks at it, and I'll say, anyone give me an insight check. Obviously, Car, you could come down if you wanted to in this moment as well. She does not seem to be... I mean, she had no problem putting a knife to your throat, so there's a level of I don't want to say this person's definitely not dangerous, but it doesn't seem to be aggressive in this moment.
I think Kay just had a hand on their weapon, just not obvious, but casually, just in case it pops off.
Gotcha.
I got a 15 on the insight.
Okay. Yeah, 15 is pretty good. So we'll say with a 15, there's a moment where you see this figure looking at this drawing, and it's pretty accurate. It's pretty good, and she seems lost in thought. No. Sorry. No. Hand it back to you. Yoon, I would also like an insight check specifically for you. I'm going to say you have advantage.
I got a 7.
Cool. Yeah. Turns to you all and goes, okay. Much to talk about. You're not from here.
Right. Well, right.
Okay. Sit, I tell you.
All right. I'll make some tea. I'll go
Tea?
sit.
Tea.
Drink.
Ah. Good. Yeah, just some words definitely doesn't seem to make any sense.
Right.
Above board, obviously as players, you get the idea that for some reason Gadara in this timeline seems to know more words.
Do we see Gadara as we come down at this point? Do we see her with the party?
She's with the party right now.
I know, but I was still up as I come down.
Yeah, so that's why I was saying when you could come down and rejoin,
I will
you
come
want,
down
yeah.
now. That it's I was trying to give us some time because we're looking, and also I'm sick, so talking is hard.
Right.
But
Oh, you're good.
I want to land within her sight, but at a distance, and make my descent very obvious because they're not fighting, and so I don't want to spook her, and I'm not going to tell Nala what to do because that goes poorly.
Cool. You see, so Oh boy. I'm gonna say we'll just let it be one roll. Car, I'd like you to roll me a d20 and add your charisma modifier.
Okay. I'll just roll charisma then, since that will do it. 14.
Okay. I'll roll against it here. Okay, great. You see immediately as you come down, she is like grabbing her knife and like holding it in front of her. I'd say you're like a distance away, but she seems to be like immediately in sort of like protective mode. And you see her eyes are in a very clear like fight or flight for a second.
Okay. And I'm assuming you told me that, so I'm assuming I noted. So like as I start hovering down, I hold both my hands up because I don't know what was just said, and kind of alight maybe like 15 feet away from the party, and just stand there with my hands up and looking at the rest of the party like.
Looks at you, Ogra, actually, and goes, Malal, and points to Car.
No, he's a bird.
Bad.
Good?
Okay, cool. I think Amelia just kind of like notices the rest of you guys are not reacting to these two people, so then eventually just kind of puts the knife down. But yeah, Car, you get the feeling that this figure has not seen anyone of your kind or Nala's kind.
Oh, okay. When she puts her weapon at a non-attacking position, I don't need her to pull it completely away. I will very quietly and calmly and with clear intention walk not towards her because she threw a weapon at me and I'm like, this is clearly not my world and not where I want to be, but I will join the party and just stand a little bit behind but near them and just wait to be told what's happening.
Cool. Yeah. So I imagine you guys are kind of like sitting around, probably trying to be in this sort of a defensive sort of place, but you see her as she stands, she is kind of like a little lost in thought.
Does she look like she might speak what was it? Elvish by any chance?
Does she look like she might speak?
Yeah, does she look like
Yes.
it?
I mean, she's got the elven ears, so yeah.
Oracle's got Oracle. Ogra is going to like seeing that.
Well, hold on, time out. Let's not just cut off someone's head. Go ahead and do what you want to do.
Sorry.
It's okay. It's all right. One at a time, gang.
So she looks like it. So I'm gonna say in Elvish. Are there any portals around like the one we came out of?
Cool. She just stares at you. She has no idea what you're saying. Cool. All right, we got that. Now, Ogre, what do you want to do? Or, sorry, Ogre.
Ogre saw like Malal like put the knife away when we showed Car was not a threat, so she's gonna go. Does Malal mean like hurt or bad?
Malal. Malal means land, tribe, family.
Oh, so Malal, and then I point to Fang. Not Malal.
Yes, Malal.
Not Malal. Takes out a knife and starts to walk towards Fang.
We'll handle it.
Ogra's Malal. Ogra's Malal.
Amazing. Yeah, so we don't have to roleplay all this, but I will say that first off, she introduces herself as Gadara. She is one of the last surviving members of how she would put it as I think, so simplification on this as far as like the sort of like primal sort of area of this, I'd say what she would call as the Sun Tribe. She explains to you all that there is this, exactly 6 days ago, and actually exactly is not a good way to say it at all. Approximately, assumedly, 6 sleeps, actually, was a great way to put it. It's 6 sleeps ago that they had put this woman, Selma, to death. That there were these members of her former tribe decided that she was a witch, essentially. You get the concept of like brimming in the idea of like that there is something that is all of it really kind of like points back to the glyphs on the wall that you saw. You get the idea of like, oh, we're now in this timeline where this happened. Since that happened, since that happened, her body was like seemingly lost to the fire, and we have not seen the sun since. So she told me that there is a time where figures come after everything go wrong, and I was to guide them to the tower. So, we go now?
Finish our tea, and then go.
Hot water.
So it's hot water with leaf juice. Hot leaf juice.
Hot malal water.
Hot leaf juice. Oh, man.
Hot family juice. Gross. I mean, she says we go now because everyone's just looking like blankly at her. There's room for questions here for sure.
Good,
Well,
Dara.
Go ahead.
You are part of Sankarvas's book, Solterra?
Solterra.
Solterra.
Yes. Sun Tribe.
Sun Tribe. Okay. So, Nilam. Okay, cool. And Kay is just kind of verbalizing their thoughts out loud and be like, I think I've made the connection of Nilam and Milam a little. Tea good. Tea first.
With them talking, is there any like similarity between the two? Look, like as in looks, or is it far off?
No insight check required. There is some similarities between Kaelinor and Gadara.
All right, I'm gonna keep that in my mind, and I'm gonna keep it to myself, but I'm gonna take note of it.
Yeah. Good grab.
Interesting.
Gadara. Dragon. And Kay kind of looks up to the sky.
What?
I'll tell you in a minute.
That might have been
Lizard
something to
bird.
mention for the watch.
Lizard. Sky?
Sorry, it froze up on me again. Go ahead and repeat whatever you said.
I think I just repeated her saying lizard. I was like, lizard. And then
Lizard
pointed
bird.
at- Lizard bird. Good. Bad.
Came about 3-4 sleeps ago.
After Selma
Fire.
fire. And Melunis.
Yes. They still former tribe.
Thank you. And I turn to Yoon and Ogres. So, Watch was fine. There was a dragon in the sky, and I was going to mention it once we'd all woken up, but I thought, we had a rough day, and I didn't think a dragon kind of needed to be added on top of that stress, and that's... But now.
Dragon. Lizard bird. Dragon.
Lizard bird.
Ogre goes to her little backpack, pulls something out. Looks like this.
What are you pulling out?
A little doll of a dragon.
Okay,
Like an
all right.
beat up one.
Like a wooden carving?
Yeah, just like...
Okay.
Do you have any survival supplies in that bag, or is it all just pictures
it's
you've
all
drawn
just-
there?
It's all
There's
just fourth wall
this.
breaking.
There's this.
It's just a
You
full
have
plush.
a gun?
What?
No,
Are there any more
fire.
grenades?
What is Ogre an expert at today?
Just like
All right,
I,
throwing
so,
everything
I
out of
like
the
that.
bag.
I like that. Let's do that for this episode. Ogre full on pulls out a gun, puts it back in, never see it again.
All right, we'll address that later. So, wait, what is it? The Nalam? Is that the above board? Was that the word for the? Was it Nalam? The
Malal.
group we heard? Huh? Malal is
Nal-
what she's saying, but
Oh,
like the one we heard from Carvis is like
Nalam was the
Nalam.
name for them
Nalam.
before they
the
split.
group, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Did she say that during that conversation just now?
No.
Nalam at all? Okay.
No,
so-
she seemed
just talking
surprised
about-
that you knew the phrase.
Hmm. But then you also mentioned like the group that split off, right? The name of those that was
Yeah.
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 It's
Yeah,
like the
Soltera
idea that
Wilderness, yeah.
if you say something in Spanish to someone who's Hispanic and they're immediately like, well, wait, okay, so you know Spanish? Wait, I'm confused. Like, there's that sort of level of like, she's like translating to you as you're saying the real thing back to her. So yeah. So we go and you save and bring her back.
Who are we saving?
Selma.
The
You
person
don't-
they burned at the stake.
You burned her, but her body disappeared.
You see her. I think her eyes just flash at you in like a very like aggressive sort of manner on the idea of you saying you burned her. She goes, no,
Others.
Gadara not.
Malal burned her.
No,
Moon people?
Melunis?
Alunas.
Lunas. And now she is. How long tower? Always? Or tower, no tower, and then tower?
Tower looks at you and is like thinking, like translating sort of things. It goes, 50, 60 sleeps, many sleeps. You get the idea from that. Yeah, tower's fairly new.
Right. Yeah. That's still, yeah. Okay. Interesting. Well, I don't, are we all agreed to go to the tower? I feel like that's the most likely place we might be able to get back or find Riarris or, and save, Celis?
Selma.
Selma.
You know how?
We'll improvise. Yes. Maybe.
Okay. Grab things. Pack. Dragon. Thing. I'm trying to think of like what she would say for the thing that Ogre pulled out. Pack,
Ogre just hands it to
fake-
her as a gift.
Fake dragon.
Not the
What?
gun.
What do with this?
It's a gift. You can have it.
What for?
Ogre really doesn't give her stuff away, but you're helping us, and there's a possibility that
Just starts pulling real hard on it.
No. Like,
well,
necklace? Necklace is decoration, is, just,
like
for looks nice.
Wouldn't fit around head.
Well, I'm out of yeah.
Token
Token.
of your god.
no. Maybe hers.
Your god.
Maybe used to be,
Not god anymore.
not God anymore.
Gives it to you.
Thank you.
We go.
We go.
And you see her turn and start to walk to the forest. As she goes, there's a certain point in time where she says, "Keep eyes open. If you hear bird sound, but not that bird sound, no stab. A few malam left. They around." Basically, what she's trying to say is, don't kill the first person you see.
Right. Kind of indicating she wasn't the only person to come out there. Like, there were other people covering her at the time. And if, things had gone south. Okay.
I'm not necessarily covering her,
Right.
but they're
just
there
around,
are
I
other
guess.
people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. And you guys head out into the dark jungle with Gadara, and we'll take this opportunity to take our 10-minute break. So we'll see
Awesome.
you guys in 10 minutes. Okay, we are back. So, as you all are traveling through the jungle here, I'm going to need a group stealth check from you all.
I'm rolling so well. Just absolutely phenomenally. It's just great. I can't believe how well I'm rolling.
Modded
Uh,
20.
Okay.
Natural 20 for a 22. Oh, I get advantage, but I'm not going to do better than a nat.
Car got an 18.
24,
12.
22, 18, 12.
Thank God
Zed
for
got
you,
a
party.
Dirty 20. What'd you get, you?
I got a nat 1 for a 6.
Attaboy.
Yeah.
6. Good. Okay. Right, great. And we'll say let's get a marching order behind Gadara. The assumption is Gadara will be in front, but
I would like to be in the middle, only because I can get away if we're outside, and I can move more. I mean, so.
cool. So middle.
But if you would like me somewhere else, I'm happy to go where you ask me to.
Let's do Kaelanor.
I'll go behind Kaelanor. I have pretty good survival.
Yeah. Ogre, Car, Zed, me. I'll take up the rear. And then Nala can be where Nala wants to be. And Fang can
That will be in front of me.
You know. I love that answer. You know what I want to say.
Yeah. Fang's probably been said, yeah.
He said a funny death.
Cool. We'll say Zed. Zed. You're Zed. Fang is. We'll say Fang is behind Kaelanor. And then Nala can be behind Car, right? So we want Car in the middle. So we'll say. Oh, I got to roll stealth check for Nala. Nat 20 for Nala.
What? Well,
Not really sure how
good.
that works. but
I took my own luck and pushed it off to everybody else.
Thank you. Cool. Great. And then we'll say. So stealth checks are really good. We'll say whatever you guys want to roll here, like perception check, insight check. If there's anything specific you guys are trying to glean from this trek through the wilderness here.
Are there any weird plants around?
Okay. Go ahead and roll me a nature check, please.
Not much. 5?
Not that you notice. There are definitely some plants here that you don't really like. I'd say there are plants here that you don't really recognize, but the idea of them being unique in any sort of like property sort of thing is kind of far-fetched for you right now. Yeah.
Can I look at the above trees and see if there are any broken branches, like if a dragon has passed by?
If a dragon passed by, it's unlikely they would be like perching themselves on the trees.
I know, I was just thinking like the tail got hit or their claws just like grazing through and they just like accidentally
Oh, just
damage.
like damage. Okay. Yeah, I like it. Yeah, give me I would call that a survival check.
Yes. Okay. 21?
Cool. With a 21, not at this moment. You don't notice anything, especially like along the route you guys are going. Yeah, you don't see any sort of like massive marks of like. Well, what'd you get?
I got a 21.
21. So I'll say with a 21, you don't notice any heavy markings on like trees that have been like ripped in half or anything like that, or any sort of noticeable damage on the canopy stuff. You have noticed some significant, I'd say, like you pass by what looks to be a almost like you're like crossing over another trail, sort of, like a really, like, I'd say like a small trail of like no more than like 4 feet wide, but it's a trail because it looks like there is some sort of large 4-legged animal that had charged through it, knocking down pretty much anything in its path. Unlikely that it's a dragon, though.
Guys, just to be a little aware, we are walking on a path that was made by something pretty big and ran this way, and we're headed maybe toward it. Just like
You're passing it, so you just
okay,
cross
we're
over.
passing it.
Yeah.
And okay, Ogre's just gonna point to that over there.
Mm-hmm. You got it.
Carr he takes that into account, but Carr is interested to see. So, brief story, not too long, I promise. When my foreign exchange student came over, he didn't understand the number of street side crosses and candles in our area. I'm not sure if you guys know about them in your areas, but it's very famous. It's very well known here that if a family loses a son or a daughter on the side of the street, they build up a cross with candles and flowers, and they keep on going back to it. So I had to explain to him that's like one of the morning rites of the area. And so what I'm looking for, is there anything that looks like something ritualistic as we walk? I may not recognize it as what it does, but I'm just like, similar to when he was like, why are there crosses here? What's going on? I kind of want to see if there's anything on the path, and I'm like, what might I see like that?
I would say at this point, no.
Okay.
But you also get the feeling, I think I would say you get the feeling that the pace that you're going, you're probably pretty far from wherever Guitarra's tribe was.
Yeah, no problem. But that's what I'm looking out for. Just like, is there any indication of something I could latch onto as Carr that I could maybe get more information on their culture? So if I see nothing, that works.
Okay. Anything else?
Can I switch my ring to Echo Sensory? I think Kay right now is just, Gadara said to be careful of sounds and things, so I think I'm just doing like general perception and using Carvis's ring to kind of help out with that.
Cool. You got it. I go ahead and explain to myself, but also the rest of the party what that does.
You got it. Carvis's ring. Echoing sensory. By turning on the stone on the ring, you can heighten your sense of hearing, granting advantage on perception checks that rely on sound. This ring features a long flat stone set into its band, engraved with intricate patterns that seem to ripple and shift as if response to sound. Crafted by Carvis the Bellmaker.
Nice. Cool. Go ahead and give me a perception check with advantage, please.
Uh, 16.
16. Nice. Okay, cool. Nothing yet, but I'll remember that. Anything else?
Hey, Nala, do you still have that compass?
Looks through. Yep, still has it.
Did you find anything out about it? I thought you were going to investigate it or something, or look into it.
Well, yeah, and then the world broke in half.
Yeah, but
So
we're just
I haven't
walking,
really
so
had
it's not like,
time.
we have anything else to do. It's just, curious.
That's okay. You want me to do it right now?
No, I thought you investigated it already, and you just hadn't told us about it, or you knew something about it. That's all. If you haven't checked it out, then feel free to, you do you. I can't tell you what to do.
Okay. I'll look into it.
Thanks.
Just hardcore staring at Nala after she said, I'm gonna look into it. You just see me like just staring straight at her, because her and I know about it.
Do we?
Nala.
I'm telling you, Drew, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, we know about the explosive hidden inside it, or something of that manner.
Oh, that it was trapped?
Yeah.
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 Gotcha. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I'm with you. Cool. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, cool. Sweet. So I'd say, the last thing. Ogre, did you roll a nat 20 on your survival check? What'd you roll?
That was 21 you're talking about?
21? Okay, cool. With a 21, 21 I'm going to say is just kind of like marks it as the idea of like the concept of like how you keep time during this whole sort of thing. You get the feeling that it could be somewhere between like 2 to 4 hours that you guys have been like going and just continuously, no stops, no breaks. You surmise it's probably been about that amount of time. Kaelinor, you hear a sound from a little bit of a deeper voice, a language that you do not recognize. That doesn't seem to be talking to you or anyone in the party, but it seems to be about pretty coming up on your like left hand side, about probably maybe like 30 to 40 feet away.
I think I tap Godara's shoulder and I kind of point in that direction, and I just go, I point in my ear and just go like, listen.
You tap Godara's shoulder. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, and I just kind of like slow down my pace, I think, a little, and I just go.
You got it. Okay. Thankfully, I rolled well enough. She like flips around, like looking right at you, and then you just like point it. Oh, okay. Dunta. There's a bunch of like bush and like brush that kind of like gets pushed aside as you see this figure kind of pushes his way out to the other side. Oh. Bilal?
Bilal.
Okay. Dunta. Godara immediately starts to speak in that sort of like tribal language to Dunta, fully cutting off his introduction to you all. And you see Dunta and Godara have like this sort of like seemingly sort of like heated conversation. And you see Dunta kind of like at the end of it, you see Dunta just like kind of like doesn't even really look, just kind of like grabs a nearby branch and full on just pulls himself up and is gone. Okay. That was Dunta.
Okay.
That's my boy.
No, it isn't.
It's just wait. Bestie.
He
Good.
looks at everyone in the group. Would roll an insight check. Okay. Looks at everyone in the group and stops at Carr because Carr looks the craziest. And goes, strange, curious, like that. And just points at Carr.
Points down to Fang. That?
Pet?
That's your example? Pet. Yeah, different than, yeah.
Points to Carr again. No, like that. Not pet. Just strange.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
Joe.
Oh no.
If you can hear
That's
us,
a great picture. Can someone
we
screen
lost
cap
you,
that?
but
Look at
Please.
Wait,
Kay would have pointed to Zed. Like, no take us that.
yeah. Well, it's a
Oh,
look, I
okay.
suppose.
Oh, I almost got it.
I did too. It's like that meme with the cat and the two women across the
What
table.
are you doing?
Love that meme.
This is a good one.
Hmm.
Oh,
Do you still have that? Does Ogre still have that picture of? Didn't she have a picture of the Solaris, Lunaris, or whatever?
Tower and stuff. Yeah, I think you drew
Yeah,
it all
Or
out.
like the
anything-
actual like device?
Yeah, she did a little picture thing of it.
Okay, because we don't have it, but they might have one, depending. So we might want to ask.
Sorry about that. All right, where were we? Sorry.
he's back, guys.
You were
went-
pointing and going.
So everybody, yeah.
Like Invasion of the
That's
Body
gross.
Snatchers.
Yeah, saying he's crazy like Carr.
Crazy like
Yes,
car.
Like car. Suspicious. Or something.
Yep. Didn't say suspicious, just like
Not
strange.
suspicious, yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
But okay. Gadara have few Malal left, so make do. Like you, and that.
Make something.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Nala does not hear any of that. Okay, we continue. Be very quiet as we now get closer to village. May need to stab.
Which village? Is this the
Our
Dude.
village.
you gonna stab people in your village?
Yes. Take you to tower and village.
Village. The village people don't want us in no block tower.
No,
No.
is and points to Kaelinor, who had said the word before.
People
it
in
the-
village.
The moon people?
Melunas?
Melunas. But
Cool.
we kill them, we bring them back to Malal, to nourish Malal, and no longer be alive.
You going to eat them?
What? No. Fully breaks character. Wait, what? No, not at all.
Nourish,
mean,
bring them back and nourish your
Nourish. So nourish Malal. Remember, it also means land.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Yes.
Yeah.
It's
Family,
like,
land, everything, but-
Aloha.
Come on, man. I got like 4 languages I'm talking about. You can't keep up.
So I was
Glad
I
you
only did
asked
the
it,
one.
'cause I was
I
like,
am
"Huh?"
a linguist. I should have known.
And we all eat and we enjoy. No.
maybe this is where the
there's not a lot
goblins
of
got
food
their
left, you know?
traditions.
Hey, Ian.
Yeah.
Have you This is me just whispering to Yoon.
Mhm.
I was like,
Okay, well, Yoon is still in a conversation with Gadara, but yeah, I like this. This still happens.
I probably like stop since he's behind me, just so we get further away from them, but not like uncomfortably behind.
Well, Gadara and Yoon were talking right now, so I
Okay.
do like it does make sense to me that Zed would like jump in and just be like and say something.
So, does that mean like? Anyways, enough about like bones and stuff all over the place from their enemies. Have you noticed that her and Kaelinor kind of look alike? Like, look at them
Who's-
walking.
Who's her?
Oh, he's talking about how you look like Kaelinor a little bit. You know, the features.
No, not
it's,
him.
You know, it's
No, like her.
I think he just has trouble differentiating people of the same it's elves.
Kaelinor, roll me an insight check on yourself. Maybe.
Just checking herself out.
Kaila's like, what?
A puddle.
Getting strays over here.
Mm.
7, but I'm debating whether do I burn my inspiration for this.
Yes.
Use
Yes,
very
I-
much one too.
I'm gonna use it. I'm gonna use it. So
You gotta know yourself.
I gotta know myself. 17.
17, nice. Okay, cool, awesome. So this actually can be sort of tangentially important, as there's a moment where Gadara stops and Kaelinor stops and they both look at each other.
Yeah, they walk the same.
Touches your nose.
I think you were right.
You know.
I think Kate kind of touches their ears a little bit and with like, hold
Yeah.
up.
Start mirroring
Your
actions.
your ears are not as like maybe I should not just have Dunta here. Your ears are not as pronounced as hers, but that's something that is actually pretty like you guys would know this, but like something that's historically accurate in Jaime is that like eventually elves' ears did shrink a little. Like because like if you look at like Fey elves, like elves from the Feywild, their ears are extremely pointy.
That's the
so, yeah.
greatest lore I've heard.
Hell yeah.
That's a pretty
Ears
common
shrink.
one. I don't think I
Now
made
I
that
know
up.
it.
Sure.
No, I mean,
but yeah.
that's like D&D lore.
I think so. I'm pretty
And in
sure.
this context too, it
Yeah,
makes great
I
sense.
believe
It's
you.
awesome.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Or I made it up, and either way, it fits here.
Either way, it's cool. Yeah.
So yeah, there's a weird moment where Kaelinor, with that 17, this doesn't make sense. Because if history serves correct, if the Merlinloke come from the Merlunas, then why would your great ancestor consider themselves to be Solterra? Now, there's a million generations between you both, so something could have happened there. So there's literally, it could be a ton of different things, but it is something I think that does bring something to your head, to your conscious a little bit. Conscious. Huh. That is weird.
It is weird.
Hey, could she be like your grandma?
Maybe like my great, and Kate just does that for a few times.
Okay, well, we go now. Okay.
You elves, you like don't age and stay the same for a long time.
Wow.
And
What?
you guys get like really old.
What do you call me?
Elf?
Beautiful elf.
What do you call yourself? Loa? Goblin?
Nalam.
Aarakocra?
Nalam.
Malam? Malam.
Nilam.
No. Ah.
So Nalam again was the name before they split up. You get the idea,
Right.
like from this, like whether it's progressive or just an idea of like that wasn't necessarily like necessary. Doesn't seem to understand the name elf at all, or elv or anything, you know, in that context. I mean, as far as you guys know right now, Nalam must mean elf. But yeah. So you assume
We
that
kind of
you're
know that there was a
Cut.
there were two groups kind of combined at that point. Didn't we learn kind of the little bit of, you know, like it was kind of like Riarris had some sort of history with that group, and as did Kaelinor.
Right.
So there was sort of like, you know, both groups
We
combined.
got pangs from either
Um,
side.
But yeah,
Right.
but then they split up. Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
Okay. Elf?
Nalam still together, still have. I wonder if they have wings. Like picture, the picture. Our friend Riarris. Nalam
Oh, wings.
also
Fly.
wings and eyes. Right.
Um,
Maybe not all.
Not Gedara, but some Nalam. Yes.
Some Nalam still.
Okay. We go into village. It should be tribe. I don't know why I keep saying village, but we go into tribe. We kill guards.
One last thing.
Okay.
Ogre, do you still have that drawing of the Lunaris Lunaris was first. Lunaris Solaris.
Solaris.
Solaris
by the way.
Lunaris.
Goes through her little drawings and does a really shitty one.
That was
Uh,
what she originally grabbed from you.
So, do you know of its key, maybe, or important to tower? Have you seen?
Important. Selma have like actually now there's this weird sort of familiarity between you, between Kaelinor and Gadara, as Gadara kind of goes through your pack, and pulls out the dragon token.
Tower token.
But Selma have everywhere before tower.
Some have everywhere before tower.
Takes like Ogre's thing and like kind of like the makes a motion as if she's drawing it. Doesn't really have a name for that action, but like she did this a lot. Intent on stone, in wood. Token.
All right. Need for tower?
Yes.
You have?
Holds up the dragon.
We find? The
Holds up
dragon?
Mhm.
We'll figure it out. All right, let's kill some guards.
Okay.
You mean dragon has it?
Hmm?
You mean the dragon has the Solaris?
Token. Like grabs Ogre's thing and just points to the drawing. And you get the idea that like it's a draw, like it's a glyph. It's a like it's a, there's a you get the idea that there is not a physical instrument Yeah.
Like she made the blueprints and then it
Ah.
just got distributed.
Okay.
Ah.
Oh, that's really that's good insight.
Because we're most likely over 800 years from your thing. Yeah.
Saw it. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. You quick death. No sound.
Hearing that, Ogra has the silent sphere and pulls it up. Right before you attack, I
Token.
can make. Yes, Ogra got this from a guy who makes spells. We can use
Spells. Selma.
this. Right before you attack, Ogra can use this and make sure nobody hears us when we take out people, so we don't get more people.
Weapon. No token weapon.
Mm-hmm.
Puts a hand on your shoulder and gives like a hard slap. I like this one. This one strange. And is pointing to Car again.
Have to kill is make asleep, unconscious, okay, or kill better?
Kill so Selma can bring back.
It's weird, but I have a good feeling about it.
You can roll an insight check on that.
Yeah.
Good feeling.
Am I allowed to do that as well?
Yeah, absolutely.
I got a modded 0.
I got
Dude.
17.
Dude. Have a night.
You're
I
pretty
gotta
sure.
switch. I'm gonna switch my dice.
You're pretty sure Gadara is into you. I think that's what you get with a
Fair
0.
enough.
Yeah.
Killing it.
I am.
No, we kill. She goes up to your neck and just kind of like this. We. They don't
later.
look like
Not,
your neck.
this is not the
your
time.
neck like this.
It's not the.
This.
It's not that I'm not interested. Just we have to.
Yes.
Yes. All right, let's kill. We'll kill them. We're gonna go kill them.
Great. Cool.
So for mine,
Mhm.
I got a 17.
Okay.
But it was more of
You're pretty sure Gadara's into you. No, go ahead.
sounds familiar from my past, kind of.
What?
Right?
You started in the middle of this. I could only hear the middle of your
That's what he
sentence.
does.
So I wanted to do it as remembering from the past that it might, if it sounds familiar from anything from my past, killing them to bring them back up. If that brings anything.
Yeah, I mean, there's a level of excuse me? Yeah, from Zed, sure.
Yeah. Okay.
You didn't need a roll for that. That's
Okay.
if Zed feels that, Zed says that, or Zed acts on that.
Alright, I don't know if we need to be coming in here and just killing random to bring them back. Doesn't that sound
it's
weird?
confusing for sure. Maybe we'll improvise. Maybe they're undead.
Like following a necromancer or something?
No, it seems more like a time god. Time is kind of not moving or something, and but look, if you don't want to kill anybody, you don't have to. if I see people who seem like they're, fine and nice, maybe we'll pull it back. But it seems we also, I'll do
All I'm
what
saying
it
is
takes
we
to get
shouldn't
to
make
Riarris, and the tower is our best shot at finding him.
Mhm.
we shouldn't make any promises until we see.
Oh, so here's the thing about promises: you could make them, and then just not do them. You don't have to do them.
Now
Yeah,
you're
like,
thinking of doing stuff
Writing
before
that
you
one
act.
down. Hold on.
There's the Yoon character coming out a little more. Yeah, I like that.
Ewan, you're saying all this like right in front of them.
Well, yeah, I mean, everybody knows. It's fine. I mean, I'll always do it, but I'm just saying you don't have to.
You know what? Let me talk with my advisor.
All right, but feel free to stay back.
Yeah. What's up?
Fang,
Uh,
what do you feel like going into a random universe, world, place thing, and somebody asking you to help them kill them just to bring them back?
Yeah. Sounds
Doesn't
good.
it sound exhausting? Like, why would you kill them if they're already alive?
They have teeth.
They probably have stuff that you could take while they're, while they're dead.
Hmm. Is this the Kalinor? What do you?
Yeah, Zed.
Just going down the line.
What-
Ogre, did you roll an insight check? I saw you laugh.
No, I didn't roll an insight check, but
Okay,
I'll
go ahead and
do
roll
it
an insight
now.
check. Yeah, go for
All
it.
right. Eh.
Kalinor,
Zed-
what do you think about like killing people and then bringing them back?
Zed, I'm gonna kill them either way. I believe. Well, if I don't kill Zed, if we don't kill them now, they're just gonna become the cult. So better to cut off the head of the problem now. No.
I can't
Oh,
believe you didn't
don't
say
cut off
snake.
head, because it's
can't
very
believe you just-
difficult. Takes a couple times to do. Just cut the throat, right? And like grabs Yoon again, just like right here. You just cut right there.
Oh, yeah, that's very sensitive. Thank you.
At this point, Zed's just gonna be crouched down, holding his head, just thinking to himself, "What the hell has gotten into everybody?"
We're literally in some sort of other time or place. Or look, if you want to stay back, feel free. If we're going to die, though, please jump in and prevent that. But when there's only one way forward, take it with a smile.
You're never truly dressed without one.
This is a lot
oh-
of wholesome advice you got with the goblins.
Yeah.
Well, you gotta show all your teeth. It's more intimidating.
Showing
Especially
your
when you
teeth,
go-
you're right.
That's why I have so many teeth. If they say show your teeth, and then I could just bring up I have so many teeth. You guys want to see all my teeth?
Maybe we should get going.
Ogre, what'd you get in your insight check?
11.
Well, I tried, gang. Cool. You guys.
Beginner's luck. Beginner's luck.
Cool.
Inspiration.
Okay.
Do it.
Guidance.
Sure.
Oh. Okay. Thank God for luck. That's a nat 20 plus 4
Nope.
plus 3
Nope.
more.
Nope. Beginner's luck.
It's
Just a
not a
D4.
Oh, it just adds a
Just
D4.
adds a
It's just
D4.
like a
Use that
guidance.
reroll.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I'll just use that
But I can do it
4 I
after
got plus 2. So 11.
17.
You got 4 on the guidance.
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
cool.
2 for the guidance, and I used the 4 that I rolled
For the beginner's
before.
luck.
For the beginner's luck. Got it. Cool. Awesome. Great. Yeah, 17 will do it. You get the feeling that Gadara seems to think you guys know what to do once you get to the tower. Right, so she has said at a certain point when you guys are all meeting up, and then you guys bring her back.
Hmm.
So there's a level of like, I think there's a moment where like in that moment you're like, okay, like we'll just kind of walk through the steps, but as you're traveling and as she's saying, like explaining what they're going to do to get there, she seems to think that you know what to do.
Ogre's looking at everybody and like,
I think we're ready to go. You're the only one that's caught that.
Ogre's just gonna keep quiet.
Cool. I like it.
Just gonna be at the back of the packs now.
Well, remember, okay, yeah. What you know is the idea that there's the kind of like Jan Memori sort of like like worry.
Yeah, because that's what's going through my head, and then Kalinor's whole like offering up people deal is also going in the back of the head. So that's why I asked Kalinor, and she's like, "Nah, we can do this."
Yeah,
I'm just like,
I like it.
I'm like, they're drugged or something. I'm staying in the back.
Cool. Sweet. So as you all continue forward, I would say, we have a rogue here, so I imagine Kalinor is probably involved. But as you guys, I'll explain the scene. So as you guys are coming up, I know we did lose Car, but there are some noticeable, like sort of like piece of just like I won't go into details. It's like kind of like tribal sort of like jewelry and tokens that are like hanging from the trees, giving the idea that this is some of it might be like warding off evil spirits. You're not entirely sure, but there's that kind of like level of like almost like a mysticism sort of there. But as you guys get closer, you notice that so you notice a couple things. First thing you see is that when Carr was... I gotta fix this page. It's driving me nuts. There we go. When Carr was flying over, and like Nala was there too, they didn't see any tower. They didn't see any like sort of mark of anything that resembled a village. And granted, you guys have been walking for a while, so it could have been just that. But why is that? It's like that didn't move. Because that's not right. That's weird. All right, whatever. I'll try to ignore it. As you're looking at this kind of like open sort of format that you see, there are several sort of huts that are nearby. You guys actually, most of you rolled really well. So there's like a good amount of like kind of like being able to kind of peer through the trees, and you see that there are most of the people. You assume that most people are in their huts, but there are 2 guards that are in front of what would be considered to people that never really go above like 10 feet up, a tower. This tower is only really about 15 feet tall. Doesn't even break the canopy line. You notice that there are 2 floors to this, and you see right next to it is a very large basin that you guys may not recognize this in character, but you recognize that it is indeed where the like communal soup would have came from. You see there are 2 guards that are standing armorless, shieldless, just carrying spears, and they're standing kind of at attention in front of the entrance to this place. There is so on the left hand side, there's the only thing you could do is probably like sneak between maybe the tower itself and the basin itself is kind of on this like hill, and then there's like wood and like bonfire like type stuff like around, so you'd have to kind of squeeze yourself in between those 2 things to kind of get onto the left, get from the left hand side. On the right hand side, you're about maybe 10 feet from the tree line, from the trees. So okay, I can get one if someone wants to get another, or 2 people. I don't know how many it usually takes for you to kill someone.
Okay. Only the gods.
Okay. And you, yeah, I'll say, Kaelinor, you go ahead and tell me what you're doing.
She's gonna go and sneak upon a guard, hopefully, and just, I think, noticing that they are with no armor or shields. I think the idea of like, cool, I can stop the cult right here, right now. I think that just pauses for a minute. It's like, oh wait, no, they aren't carrying anything. Like, it feels slightly wrong. Like, there was a brief moment of humor.
Because they don't have like scrolls on them.
Yeah,
so there's like a feeling of like they're not part of the cult. Oh, I love
they're not part
that.
of the cult. They're not part of the cult right now, and they only have the spear. Shoot, and like Kay's decked out with all her stuff, and she's like, "Oh, that's not what I thought." Okay, damn. So I think her intent is to go and sneak upon a guard and just knock them unconscious, rather than like, yeah.
Left side or right side?
Left side. Right side. I'll do the right side.
Okay, so right side from the woods.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm gonna follow her, but be 120 feet away from the guard. That is that is a range of Eldritch Blast. So when she attacks, I intend to fire my 2 Eldritch Blasts as well.
Okay.
Ogra's also following. As soon as she sees Kay's about to attack, she's gonna activate the silent sphere. So no sound. No one's gonna wake up.
That's
I
awesome.
think that an Eldritch Blast definitely will work. I think with Eldritch Blast, with the idea of like force
30
damage,
foot,
they might make some noise. Yeah.
Maybe, yeah,
radius.
possibly. Like, I haven't really thought about the sound of it, but it's definitely, yeah. The impact is gonna, at least make a sound, if not like, the magic itself or whatever. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's very useful. Now, Ogre, you have to be 30 feet from the source of what would be hit. So that means you'd have to be 30 feet from, we said, what did I say, 10 or 15 feet from the trees? I think I said 10. So you could definitely be within that space there.
I'm just holding up the ball, like ready for it.
Cool. So now you're in the trees. Ogre is ideally hidden in the trees. I'm going to have you guys roll things here in a minute. Gadara is, so seeing like where you're setting up, Gadara's going to kind of like run around to the back sort of side. I'm going to roll something here. Okay, great. There's no surprise third guard or anything on the other side. And you see her just go from the trees to the back side of the tower. And like as she's gonna like snake her way over to like sneaking in between the basin and the guard, the left side guard. Cool. So as everybody kind of makes their way over to their positions, I'm going to need a stealth roll from everybody.
All I want to say is Zed's not taking any part in this. He's going to be hidden in the trees.
Another nat 20.
I did too. Another nat 20.
Nice.
I
got
got
2.
25.
Holy shit.
Zed, you're good. I'd say if you're keeping your distance, there's a...
Oh yeah, no, I don't want to be any part of this. I'm
Yeah,
going to
so you
stay
don't need to
hidden
roll.
in the trees.
Riarris, roll me never mind, I'm just kidding.
Saving throw.
Roll me a death saving throw. Cool. Okay, so we got a nat 20 from Ogre, a nat 20 from Gadara. Kaelinor, what'd you get?
14.
14. Cool. I'll roll.
I got a 23.
23. Yes.
Anyone cares,
Anyone cares?
He's like,
yeah.
Anyone cares? I did
Got
get
Got nothing above a 10 the
Yeah.
entire night,
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it's been bad.
Okay.
I switched my dice.
There you go.
Cool. Both guards seem to be not aware at all. Kaelinor, I think there's a part of you that feels a little annoyed by how easy this is going to be.
Yeah, a little.
Yeah. So Ogre, you turn on the sphere. sound is gone from anyone within a 30-foot space. So that's including Ogra. So there's no words that can be said in between there on that. And then so say Kaelinor, are you like gonna just like kind of like run up and attack?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are.
You got it. Go ahead and roll to attack for me.
Okay. If I'm planning on making this poor guard unconscious, should I attack with my blade or should I just go up and punch him?
I think if you want to make it really cool for the story, I think you should attack with your blade.
Okay.
You just slap him sideways with it.
Or the hilt, like
Or the blunt side, if it's a blunt side of the blade.
That is a 10 for the first attack, but I do have 2 attacks per action, so
I'll give you another attack. I'll say you have advantage. Actually, we'll say that. That's the easier way to say.
15.
God, I fucking love D&D. That is exactly what your great ancestor got. As you both go and run up, there's a moment where like Yoon and Ogra and Kar are watching this and seeing like, oh shit, like there's a ridiculous amount of time between these two, but they move exactly the same. As you both kind of do the same thing, we'll say, Kaelinor, you describe what you're doing. There will obviously be a little bit of a difference.
I think Kay, even though with the heavy plate armor chainmail that she's wearing, still has the nimbleness of a dancer. It's very quick movements, as though she is kind of dancing whilst taking out this poor guard. It's very swift and quick, but there is an elegance to the blade dance while, and she beats him up. Yeah.
Okay, cool. How do you go up and like knock this guy out?
I think she comes from the side and then kind of takes him out from behind under the knee and then just clocks him over the head.
Cool. Awesome. So same thing. I think you guys do notice a difference between like a like sort of like dancer like quality to is the idea of like a swiftness of a hunter. So there is a little bit of a difference between you two. As Gadara runs up, but does the exact same move, like just like knees the back of their leg so they come down, and then just grabs their neck and just and then holds their mouth as they bleed to the ground. Just drops down. Okay. Yours is still breathing. There's no time. Bring the bodies in. And you see her like kind of grab and like start to like bring the body, now just drenched in blood.
I pick up the body and I follow her.
Okay, cool. Yeah, you see both Kaelinor and Gadara come into the tower. So it looks like things went good, except that Kaelinor didn't kill the guard. What are the rest of you guys doing? You guys gonna follow him?
Well, so are we assuming I see this and immediately know, okay, I don't need to fire, I don't need to use Eldritch Blast at all, like that was sufficient, like, you know, because the plan was to do it when she attacked. Well, I just kind of, you know, do you think you told me that you were trying to knock him out rather than kill him?
That's a good question. I doubt it, right? Because
I know, I don't
was
think so.
fighting with the idea herself.
Yeah.
Well, let's just leave it up to a D20 then, because I'm not really sure whether, because I could have seen that's like she's trying to knock him out and it worked or whatever, you know, in that moment, but it would have been kind of in that moment. So I'll just do, you know what, I'm Yoon. I'll flip a coin.
Do it.
Colored I shoot, silver I don't. Silver. So
Okay.
I see it.
Interesting. Interesting. Cool. Great. You kind of like hold back right as Ogre has has that orb up, and you hear that not from your distance because you're so far away. But yeah. So you get that the plan is immediately changed, but it does look like it's worked the same way. So I assume you guys are coming into the tower.
Yeah. Yeah. If she starts going, yeah.
You got it. Cool.
I immediately put up symbiotic entity on myself.
Okay, go ahead and read off what that does before you do that. I will say you guys would have had to have made a stealth roll now. So Zed, we could say that 25 carries to where you are now.
Yeah, I just want to stay in the tree lines.
So you're not going to come in at all?
No, I'm just going to stay in the tree lines. And I'm going to look out to see if I see anything going on in the village, but...
Cool,
so
I like it.
If you lose sight of us, are you still going to stay in the tree line? Depending on where we're going or whatever, or are you just trying to watch us from there?
I'm gonna do a little both. If I do lose sight, I'm gonna try to keep like my ears out in case I hear anything that sounds suspicious.
These windows, so to speak, are like what are they called? They're like they look like the fortification like sort of windows where they're just like wide enough for an arrow to be poking out. You know what I mean?
Well,
so they're like those. So it's, those like little slits in the wall. So you definitely don't see them as soon as they go in the tower.
Okay, so then I'm keeping an ear out and then just looking in the village, see if there's any commotion.
You got it. Yeah, absolutely. I like that. Okay, cool. No, nothing. The rest of you guys come in. Okay. I think second floor, right? And starts to kind of go up there. Ogre, there's a moment of like weird surrealism as you recognize like you've been in here before, but over 800 years later.
And it's not fully complete. There's only 2 floors on this.
Right. But the first floor like looks familiar and doesn't, right? Because based on like the stone and everything. Also, the stone. I mean, it's recognizable to you because you've been here before. But also, like for everybody else, the stone does not seem to be recognized in any of this environment at all. So you guys just follow up to the second floor.
Instead of doing what I said, could I cast Find Traps as we're walking?
Sure. Yeah. So instead of the symbiotic entity?
Yeah.
Cool. Find Traps, just FYI above board, Find Traps is one of the sillier spells. So we will change it here because it says, so you sense the presence of any trap within range that is within line of sight. So there's a weird sort of like level of like, if you see a trap, then you know it's a trap.
Also,
but if it's in the
wouldn't
wall,
you just be like spinning around and just looking at everything? Like if it ends up being kind of silly.
This is a notoriously badly worded spell. But I will say the concept is you're looking for traps. So I'll say don't cast the spell. Just give me an investigation check.
Oh god.
I'll say with advantage because you wanted to cast the spell.
It just sounds like
I've technically been here already.
Or like tripwires and stuff.
That's true. I like that.
Oh god. Well, there goes all the good rolls I went through. That's going to be a 8.
8. Oof. Okay, cool. 8. You don't see anything. So going up to the second floor, you see the mark on the wall right where it was before. You see this window itself looks a little rougher than you saw it, as it looks like it might be still be in the like. That something has been added to this tower in all those years. You kind of actually feel like the window has been refortified, but it is staring out into the sea, and you see this very large. Actually, no. At this point, you wouldn't see any sort of like pedestal at all. Because there'd be nothing to put it on. So
Right here, there was some kind of a pedestal, but it's not here anymore. And the
Okay.
window was more rounded.
you need it for. You
Oh.
need it for bringing Soma back.
Kyun, she thinks we know how to bring her back.
We know how to improvise. That's basically the same thing. We just have to those arrows things they're called embrasures. I just remembered. It's like a crenel.
What do you need from me to do? What do I? Is it blood magic? I can give you the blood downstairs. I can give you
This
my
is
blood.
the place here. This place.
Yeah. Yes.
Thought we were going into the tower. This
This tower?
is the tower.
We're in the tower.
I'm gonna roll. something right now. Yes, this is tower right here. You. She said you would come and you would be here and you. Okay, so you bring her back. What's waiting for? Bring her back.
This is a job for Car.
Give me a perception check, Zed.
Perception check. I am. Alright. 16.
16. Cool. With 16, you hear bring her back as that last part is shouted, and you see a 10 flap open about maybe 50 feet down. Right where like the so like the furthest tent, there's a flap that opens.
Okay. I'm just going to sit back, not do anything yet.
Can you describe? Go ahead.
Hope that they just heard something and were like, it was nothing, and then close the flap, go back to bed.
You heard it.
Yeah, I'm
and you
hoping
saw
that they were
reaction immediately.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying. You're waiting to see if maybe they just go oh, I guess I imagine that. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, there's a drunk tribal village idiot or something.
Must have been the wind.
Every
Right.
NPC and
Yeah.
games.
Just put a bucket on their head. You wanted me to describe something?
Just I did the thing where I kind of zoned out a little bit about what the room we're in looks like.
So the
area we're in looks like.
Yeah, I think one. So it looks like there's a center window that is actually pointed out to sea. You actually notice that strangely, even in this moment, it does break through just enough to where you can actually see the water. From this point in the separation between the trees that seems to naturally be there. You notice that there's a glyph on the wall that matches exactly what Ogre has in her book of the sun and the moon together. But you don't see Ogre explained that there was a pedestal in the middle and there'd be a space, and actually you kind of saw a version of this in Carvis's in Carvis's home, where it had that sort of indentation, except that this Carvis's looked a little bit more functional rather than actually, I'm sorry, let me take that back. It looks nothing like Carvis's thing, but it's also not here. So there's something missing here, as well as the device itself.
All right. I was trying to explain it. We need this pointing to the rune on the wall or whatever, and there's supposed to be the token of this place here on pedestal, table, stone. Where?
Okay, you go get token, and like Kaelinor, you see her go in your bag, and is like roughly kind of like isn't like purposely pushing you away, but clearly is upset. As she like goes in, grabs the dragon thing, and like pushes in Yoon's face. Okay, token here.
This token look like this dragon, this Solaris Lunaris.
I don't have that. You just bring her back. And as she yells that, Yoon, bring her back. Bring her back. Bring her back. Bring her back. You hear that same echo in your brain happening once again. Zed, as you're watching a figure come out of the tent, look around, hears the yelling now, bring her back, and grabs a spear and starts to walk forward. Before you can do anything, Zed, you see all of a sudden it's frozen. They're frozen in place. I need, Zed, from your vantage point, you won't be able to see this, but I need everybody else to roll me a perception check. You and I'm going to argue that you have disadvantage in this moment.
Yep. Fair.
It's actually probably just Ogre and Kaelinor.
It's a nat 1 for a 3.
Okay.
22.
Ogre. Saving me. Ogre, as you are looking in the like, this is bad, like she's gonna like, we're probably all caught now. There's this like moment of like looking around furiously to try to figure out like what do we miss? And you're staring out the window towards the water, and you see something rise up in the distance from the water. Zed, you see the figure that has frozen all of a sudden starts to choke, and you see water splurt up from his mouth as you see him fall down dead. Zed, it looks strangely familiar.
Oh, shit.
What do you do?
He's probably gonna freeze in the moment in disbelief of what he just seen.
Be a hero, man. What are you doing?
See,
They need you.
He's probably going to. What are the odds of me doing that? Is insane. Instead of doing that, I'm going to shoot my blowgun at the wall to get their attention.
Okay.
And hopefully they recognize it as there's something happening.
Okay, I'll say like there is that little what was it called actually, Evan? The little slit in
Crenel
the...
or embrasure.
Embrasure, yeah, I like it. Cool. There is a little embrasure that would be like enough where you know you're not going to hit them, but it goes into the window so they're able to like notice that you're here. So go ahead and give me an attack roll.
Ooh, with that, would I be able to pull it up from the old times? Little paper airplane on the dart for that extended range. Back from when I first.
What are you asking me?
When I first met everybody, and I did come over to my place on the little tiny paper that I shot with my blowgun.
Well, I mean, if you're trying to be like a safe distance away, like 20 feet would have been a safe distance because you would be in the brush here. So yeah.
Oh,
so you don't have to worry about that. I'm not going to make you do that.
So I could do that, or I could just straight up shift dart my way straight in.
You could do that too. What do you want to do?
That's using up
Do
one
that.
of the darts.
But that's really cool.
Yeah, that's the cooler thing.
I'm gonna hold back on that, and I'm gonna shoot a dart, hoping that they know that means something's up.
Okay, you got it. Give me an attack roll. You gotta be able to snake the embrasure.
Gotta thread the needle.
Thread that needle.
12.
12 does not cut it. There is a full turn. There's a full 6 seconds where you are shooting. Ogre, you see something coming up out of the distance. And you actually see now at this point. I'm going to roll for... Okay, cool. She's able to keep her cool enough from drawing her weapon on you guys. But she is still shouting. She seems to be like fully unhinged. Zed, at the end of that 6 seconds, you see the figure that fell down is getting back up.
Oh.
Damn it.
What are you doing, man?
Oh my god. Okay, he is full-blown running with dagger and blowgun in hand.
Where?
I am running towards that tower. I am like
You're only
flying
20 feet
out
away. You got it. You run into the tower, you run up the stairs. What are you saying?
You're just gonna hear, she's here, the witch is here. And then he's just gone to... I don't even know. I was not expecting this so early.
Come on, man. What are you doing? You got it.
Yeah.
I believe in you.
He is gonna dart back downstairs, ready for a fight.
Cool. You got it. You see Zed run up the stairs, just huffing and puffing and going, she's here. The witch is here, and goes, and I think, like Zed, I think you just jump out the window. You're not that far away. Like, you just jump out the front window and immediately start running up, just in time to see... just in time to see the figure that had gotten up has opened the flap to another hut, and you hear 2 screams. As Ogre, you see that figure in that very far distance starts to float above the water and moves towards the land. And with that, we're gonna end tonight's session. We'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Later.